In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to set up a connection between R and the OMOP Common Data Model database you'll be using. The connection is used by PatientLevelPrediction, the cohort method, and requires the database connector package. So the database connector package is being highlighted here. It contains a function called the create connection details, and this is the main one for setting up the connection. So this has 5 inputs: database management system, which is DBMS. And this is a string that you need to input, the server support, the username, and the password for the username. So the DBMS, this is a string, and in my case I use Parallel Data Warehouse, so the string I use is Parallel Data Warehouse PDW. But to find out the string that you need to put, it's best to actually take the helper function of the database connector, create connections details, and this will actually then open up the side pop-up where you can actually see the inputs and the strings options that you have for the DBMS. So you can find out what DBMS you're using and the string that you need to input into the DBMS variable. Once you've sorted that out, the next bit is a string for your server and a number for the port, if this is optional for the server. So what I suggest for these two values is that if you don't know what your server port are, go and chat to the database administrator and find out what these values should be set as. The next two inputs are the username and for the database connection, the user, and the password for that user. And again, if you don't know these values, it's recommended that you chat to your database administrator and find these values out. And they're generally string values, as you can see up here. My username is a string and the top secret for my password. So these are the values you need to put. But instead of having to put these all the time, what I actually suggest is you create a separate R file called connection details. You can actually save these variables in, and that means that you don't have to keep typing them out every time you do an analysis, because it become like you have to put these into every single time. So if we open up this connection details that I've created, so this is a location that I've created in my documents folder. I've got this create details, connection details.r, and in there I've actually got all my settings. There is one other thing that I've actually got in here, which you'll see at the top. I have this options, this fftemp.dir with the sets in my T directory, fftemp. And what this is that when you download the data into R, it's often too large for it to actually fit into RAM. So we use a package called ff in R that enables you to save your data on a hard drive, but you can access it very quickly. So this is the directory where the data will be stored. So it needs to be read-write access, and also needs to be large enough space-wise for you to be able to temporarily store up to gigabytes or more of data. So I've set mine to a directory where I have plenty of space and read-write privileges. This just means that this needs to be set every time you do the analysis, so it's handy to have it in this connection details. Now I'm going to source my connection details because I've actually got slightly different ones than what I'm showing you here, but I can't show it. And then to actually set up the connection details, I now just have to rerun this function, database connector create connection details. It gives me my connection set up. And now to connect to the database, I finally just have to input this into the database connector connect function. And this will then set up a connection object that's named CONN. Now, if it's connected successfully, you'll get this connecting using SQL Server driver. If you have any other output in the console, it means that you haven't connected, and you'll need to find out what values are inputting correctly into the connection details. But at this point, I'm now ready to actually continue the analysis and be on my way with more patient level prediction. My connection's all set up.